y'all? It's your girl Bondy Blue, and I am back for another episode of the Bondy Blue Show. Yes. Okay. So you guys, before we get started, I'm going to do this entire video with these glasses on, okay, and deal with it. See, what happens is I'm tired, and when I'm tired, I don't know how my lazy eye is gonna act, so I don't have time or patience to be looking at myself in later videos talking about, bitch, why didn't you squint? You know, like I don't have time for that. So here we are. Okay, please don't forget to check the description box for where you can get the link to my Patreon account, my email for MFN advice, and my Instagram, along with some other things like my website, you know, where you can sign up, you know, to be a part of whenever I decide to do shit, you know, stuff like that. So check that out. Okay, you checked it out? Okay, so here we are. Keke Wyatt, bitch. Keke Wyatt and her husband, Michael JAMAL. Okay? She made an Instagram video crying about what do you do when your husband tells you after 11 years of marriage, like, you know, she country as fuck, okay? She was crying. I'm not trying to make fun of a sad situation. She is 8 months pregnant, and she is saying that her husband wants a divorce. He doesn't want to be with her anymore. And I'm just like, what took you so long? Okay, like, not to be shady to Keke, but I've been around them personally. Only one time, but enough time to know that this was like, this should have happened years ago. I mean, let me explain. So we were in the club. We were at Harris Casino. We was having a good time. That bitch hit me in the face with this long ass ponytail, and I was like, bitch, I probably said something you ain't like, so I'm gonna just go ahead and let you have this one. But if it swing this way one more time, I'm gonna reject it. But you know what? We cool. All right? We in there having a good time, and then all of a sudden, she's having this long ass conversation with Selena and Selena Johnson, because they were on R&B Divas together. And she's getting upset, and you know, me and my husband, well, my fiance boyfriend at the time, what's going on over there? She emotional, you know, what the fuck, right? So that's us, because, you know, I'm messy and he loves me, so he deals with my messiness. But it was just noticeable that something was wrong and that her husband was the reason, okay? She ended up storming out of the casino, and when we saw her, she was outside pissed off, and it was obvious they had been arguing. And then to watch them on the show, how disrespectful she was, how she talked to him. Then they were on Marriage Boot Camp. She was disrespectful and she talked to him bad, tell him just shut the fuck up. You know what I'm saying? You're stupid. You know, like she just talked to the man bad and don't really have a lot of respect for him. And I feel like as a wife, one of your wifely duties is to be respectful, not just when it suits you. Okay? Now let me be real. I say some offhand shit. Okay, but I feel like I ain't never talked to my husband the way I seen Keke talk to that nigga. Like, that's just too much, bitch. You hurting my feelings watching you talk to him like that. And she's 8 months pregnant with their 9th baby, okay, which is pressure on top of itself. But then to find out that one of their kids has cancer, and they're going back and forth to the hospital, they're dealing with that, and he gets out there and makes a statement saying that yes, he understands that this is not the good time to do this, but there is never a good time to leave your pregnant wife. Okay, or to leave your wife, period. So he just has to do it because he cannot deal with her anymore. I honestly feel like this is him trying to make her snap into having some type of sense, okay? Snap back into having some type of respect for him. I don't know if it's gonna click because it's been years of this same behavior. Even though I do think they love each other, I think that she has a nasty attitude, and it's because of something deep, dark inside of her that she needs to deal with. And there's nothing that any man is gonna be able to do. There's no amount of children you're gonna be able to have that is going to fill whatever the void is that causes you to act the way you do. You ask questions all the time about why you're not more famous or more successful, because you're beautiful and you got a big ass and you light and you can sing your ass off, sing your face off like most people can't, okay, including your favorite, okay? I'm just saying. Lil Wayne having seizures and shit, okay? His daughter Reginae gets out on social media, so I don't believe everything you hear. They tell him he need to take some time off. Next thing you know, I'm working, even though I almost just died. The only reason I'm talking about this is because we haven't heard about Lil Wayne in a minute. And I don't like that what I hear, it's not some like awesome record or, you know, an album about to come out or a new feature or nothing. That's not what I'm hearing. What I'm hearing is that you done had another seizure. And I know he has epilepsy, but I want people to understand that I watched this damn documentary when he was on tour. And the tour manager, I forgot the little dude's name, was talking about him and his damn lean, okay? And how it will aggravate his epilepsy and cause him to have more seizures. And that may not be what happened. Absolutely right. He may be clean, but I doubt it. I doubt it. The last time we talked about this, he told you don't worry about what's in his motherfucking cup, okay? And I'm like, fine, we won't worry about what's in your fucking cup, but nigga, don't be asking for sympathy. Okay, don't be telling us what to think. Okay, not don't ask for sympathy because I'm gonna have sympathy either way. But don't tell me what to think about the shit when you out here doing, you know, just living your life like that, not taking care of yourself, and it shows in your music. I don't care what you talking about. You reached your peak in 06, 07, 08, 09. That was a long time. Okay, nigga reigned for a long time and then just all of a sudden fell off. Yeah, nigga, take a break. But at the same time, something tells me that your break been filled with lean. And I hope not. I hope I'm wrong. I want to be wrong. But for some reason, that's just how I felt about the shit. Like, man, what are you doing, man? I hope this ain't, you know, another one of them, you know, I'm doing too much opioids. You know what I mean? Like, that's what lean is, you guys. It's an opioid. It's an addiction problem, you know? I just finished watching that Whitney Houston documentary on Showtime. If y'all haven't seen that, it's really good. Y'all should watch it. It just reminded me of that, you know. Same difference. Y'all, let's talk about Skyy from Black Ink Crew. I hadn't talked about this because I really didn't know what was going on. I didn't follow thisis50.com, so I didn't see the interview until so many people were telling me I needed to talk about Skyy. And I was like, I mean, what the fuck y'all want me to say about it? Until I actually watched the interview. And I watched a video that lovely TT did. And she basically broke everything down that happened. And if you've been watching Black Ink Crew since Skyy has been on there, you know that she went from being a random mixy chick that Teddy was fucking with, that got into fights and whipped people's asses. Then she became an assistant at the shop. And she seemed like a cool person trying to, you know, make $1 out of nickel. You know what I'm saying? Like trying to make it out here, okay? She gave us her sad story about her mom being mentally ill and being in and out of her life and her having, you know, a record and being a scammer and having kids at a young age. And she told us, and I know I wasn't tripping, and she said she had twins. And then all of a sudden, it was one of my son's fathers. And I was confused about what the fuck was going on. And people was commenting and correcting me in the comments. And I'm like, yo, I thought she said she had twins. What? You know? And that's when you start to pick apart some shit. Because just this last season, we got to see her act a complete and utter fucking donkey on that show. With the way she was reacting to people and fighting people and screaming and hollering and have to have it her way. And the fact that SEIZURE will continue to give it to her would infuriate me. Okay? It would infuriate me because I feel like when people don't act like they deserve things, they shouldn't be given things. And you not really being a good manager, but claiming you a good manager just because you better than everybody else that ain't doing shit. Okay? She ain't never really, you know what I'm saying? She ain't never really stepped up to the plate like that as far as I was concerned. You know, a real manager wouldn't have let Teddy fuck up the going to the tattoo convention. They were supposed to go to that tattoo convention. A real manager, if you're really managing the shop, then you're gonna be like, okay, Teddy, this is what you wanna do. Where your paperwork at, bro? Where the paperwork? Because don't I need to give you something, you know, for, you know what I'm saying, like as a manager. These are things that you should be thinking about and worrying about. Not letting the electricity bill get, you know, get so behind that the lights getting cut off and y'all ain't got no heat and shit like that. Shit like that happened and you was just showing up to work. Yeah, look at my titties. You know what I'm saying? Which is funny funny and entertaining and shit, but at the end of the day, for him to turn around and give you your own shop to run, the fuck? You know, like, I didn't feel like that was worthy. And I felt like this season just showed a side of Skyy that I did not like. And then to have this come out, was, you know, this interview was being done. And Duchess, I didn't even know that Duchess was the one that set the interview up. It was at her tattoo shop for Skyy's oldest son by only some months. Okay, her oldest son and his father did an interview. Now let me tell y'all something. The father ain't shit either, because he sat there and talked about how much of a liar she was and how she was lying to him about this and about that. But a real father knows where his kids are. I don't understand how your kids got taken away from you and placed in foster care, like he said, and you had no idea about it. If you were really a father in your kid's life, you ain't shit either. Okay, y'all was both ain't shit people together. Okay, so to hear you take this stance like, oh, I would have done this, and you know what I'm saying, like, it's my son and I have to teach him how to be a man and da 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 da. Man, that time is past. That boy 19 years old, ain't really much you could teach him at this point, and that's your fault. Don't act like that's all on Skyy, because it's not. She was young. And to me, even though you say she lied about her age and her mama lied about her age too until you found out she was pregnant, I still kind of feel like, nigga, do your due diligence. You know how bitches get down these days, okay? I mean, not to put it, I'm not putting it all on him, but I'm just saying, don't be putting it all on her like you don't have any responsibility in why y'all kids' lives ended up the way they did. Skyy will put on like her kids were going to different countries and knew other languages and living this really rich life with this foster family that she had set them up with. But in all reality, they were separated. They were not together. The oldest one has been in and out of jail. I heard that she didn't even put money on his books and he asked her to or some shit like that. And she said in a video when she was going off about it in a response to it, telling people, why y'all worrying about what I'm doing? Why y'all worrying about my family? See, that's the thing. You can't get on reality TV and show people your life and cry and make them feel bad for you and shit, and then when they find out something and you don't like the reaction, why y'all all in my business? Why y'all care? Bitch, you wanted us to care when you was crying and shit. She said she gave him up for adoption. For what I understand, she tried to take care of him and she couldn't, and CPS came and got the kids, okay? Like, it's a whole bunch of stuff, and I just kind of feel like that's unnecessary, and that does nothing but make you look bad to people when you lie about shit like that, when it's unnecessary. You didn't have to lie. You could have just said, man, I lost my kids. I wasn't shit. I was too young to be shit. I didn't know how to be shit for my kids, okay? And I lost my kids. And right now, you know what I'm saying? Like, be real about your shit. Don't be trying to put on for what? For what? 50 Cent. Y'all know STARZ has Power. Power has been popping. If you haven't seen my reviews of Power, you need to check them out. You tripping? What you doing with your life? Okay, all right, I gotta let you know that first. Well, over this past season, the shows got leaked. 50 said he did it, you know, or kind of insinuated that he did it. Then on top of that, they wouldn't give him the 13 episodes that they wanted. They only gave him 10. He kind of felt like maybe it was time to move on. He has a new show on BET, and somehow people was getting confused thinking that he was about to move Power to BET, but that was never going to happen. If he was going to move, he was going to move to another cable network. He was going to move to HBO or some shit, or put it on Netflix or something like that. He would have did something like that, but he would not have went from STARZ, I'm about to say Showtime, from STARZ to BET. The Power isn't that type of show, but they made a deal. Okay, I'm not exactly sure how much. He just said it was a lot of money. Okay, that they made the deal for, and he's gonna get the amount of episodes he wanted, and he's happy to be at STARZ, and he ain't going nowhere, and just pulling people fucking coattails like 50 Cent always does. And the only reason I'm talking about this is because I love that show. I do not like 50 Cent as much as people, all the other celebrities. Oh, 50's a great guy. He's such a sweetheart. Everything I see about him is asshole. He just recently posted about how he only recognized 2 of his kids because he don't have a relationship with the baby mama of one of the other kids. And I was like, nigga, what the fuck? That is not right. That is not okay. You should love your son regardless of the relationship with the mom. Okay, you the daddy, they the kid. It don't matter how it went down. They not responsible for your feelings. You're responsible for theirs. Okay, like at the end of the day, that's like important shit to me about how people deal in their life. Is how they treat their own family, how they treat their own kids. How I'm supposed to think you a good person if I don't even think you be there for your own fucking kids. Okay, I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Okay? And I know they say 50 does a lot of good shit in the community and all of that, but I feel like because that's all that shit's tax deductible. Okay? Fuck out of here with that. Alright? It's tax deductible. Okay? This nigga's a businessman. Moving along, y'all. Mike Epps finally got his divorce finalized from his wife. And the only reason I'm talking about this, I keep saying that, because some of this shit is like, otherwise I would have passed on the story. But the reason why I wanted to talk about Mike Epps is because he was trying to shortchange the shit out of his wife, okay? And she ended up getting $25,000 a month in spousal support for 6 years unless she gets married to another man, and $15,000 in child support. And he acting like it ain't nothing, he dusting it off, but it was a nasty fucking fight to the finish to get to that dollar amount. Okay, now I want you to take that situation. They got 2 kids and everything. Okay, been with this man for years. Probably dealt with a lot of infidelity, probably some physical, emotional abuse. We all know how Mike Epps can be. He will slap a bitch. Okay, I'm not saying he's a beater or nothing like that, but I'm just saying from what I've heard, how I heard him talk to his daughter one time, like this nigga will go there. So I feel like his wife probably has dealt with a lot from him. So give her fucking money and let her go live her life without your crazy ass in it, okay? Well, as much as she can, considering y'all got 2 kids and you gotta sign a check every month. Think about that situation. Now let's hop, skip, and jump over to Mary J. Blige and Kendu Isaacs. She recently spoke once again on her relationship with her soon-to-be ex-husband and how he was a con artist. I could have told you he was a con artist before she knew he was a con artist, and I think that's fucked up. I'm going to tell you the reason why. Back when I used to be trying to sing, and I used to be in the studio a lot, one of the guys, one of the engineers that I was in the studio with, I think it was in Gretna or Algiers, I can't remember, but because it was a while back. But it was a little small studio, and I went in there, and this is back before I started getting like real singing lessons and shit. And we was playing around with some stuff, and he was talking to me about different artists that had came through to his studio. And he mentioned how Kendu would hook up club appearances for Mary J. Blige or performances and take the first half of the money, and then she wouldn't show up, and people would just be out their money. So they would pay the first half, and you were supposed to pay the second portion of the payment after she performed, and she would never come. So they had still spent half of their money. And he had been doing this to a lot of people, and they kind of had gotten around. It happened to this guy who I was in the studio with, and he had no reason to lie to me about that, and that was years ago. So I feel like he's always been this guy, and like she said, she got took. Okay, she got made a fool of, as people would say. And I feel bad for Mary. I really do. And I really hope that she gets past this. I feel like when it first happened, we all thought Mary has been this strong woman for years. She's been clean for years. This is not going to be an issue for her. She'll get past it. I mean, it's an issue, but she'll get over it. She'll get past it. She'll make an awesome album. We'll love it. And I don't know if that's what's happening. I don't know if that's what's happening. I don't know how well that last album did. I liked it. I listened to it on Tidal, but it's not one of my favorites. But sometimes that just goes to show, bad boy, your producers and shit sometimes. Sometimes you gotta go get that old thing again to make magic happen, for real, in the way that you did at the beginning. Like, I feel like if Sierra would just go make some music with Jazzy Faye, okay, she'd be on and popping again. But I really hope that this doesn't make her get back on drugs or start fucking around with coke again. I really, really hope that does not happen. I do not want to see what happened to Whitney happen to Mary because of this nigga. Because first of all, you ain't worth it, okay, at all. You been like trife as fuck, and I'm sad that she's just not seeing it. I'm even more sad that she has to pay $30,000 a month to this nigga in spousal support, okay? Mind you, he was her manager, okay? And he is still fighting her to make her pay for kids that's not hers, his parents, personal chefs, his clothing allowance, all this kind of crazy shit that in all honesty, he does not deserve. And he the type of nigga that would never get married but would stay fucking a girl that he cheated on you with just so he can keep getting those alimony checks. You guys, it is so sad. So just compare those two. How is he getting more money from Mary J. Blige, okay, with no children and less years of marriage than Mike Epps and his wife? What fucking lawyer, what judge is Mary going to? Because I feel like they must have a vendetta against her, because that nigga don't deserve no montees, especially not no $30,000. I'd have gave that boy 10 and told him to go sit down somewhere. And lastly, you guys, Katie Holmes and Jamie Foxx have come out the closet as a couple. And let me say y'all something. I've been waiting on this because I kind of felt like we all kind of knew it was happening. I always wondered why they were keeping it under wraps for so long. I mean, I knew that Jamie Foxx was friends with Tom Cruise. If y'all don't know, Tom Cruise and Katie Holmes were married. There are jokes that he tried to keep her caged at their home because of the Scientology religion that he is a part of in such a strong way. And we're going to get into that in a second, okay? Because if you're not watching Leah Remini's show on A&E, the Scientology documentary that she does, the series, it is fantastic. And Mimi Faust is going to be on there this season from Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. So if you don't watch that, you should get on it. It's very informational. I always wanted to know about that religion because I felt like it was the only religion that a lot of people and celebrities were a part of, but I had no idea what the hell the religion was about. Okay, everybody else's religion, you can pretty much, you know, put it down to almost the same damn story with different names and stuff like that. This one, I had no idea what the hell they would, you know, what was going on with Scientology. And that's why I started watching it. That was why I read her book. Her book was fantastic. Okay. And I tell y'all all of this about how crazy Scientology is, about how they stalk people, about how they, you know, get information on people and try to destroy them and all of this type of stuff. And this is the religion that he's a part of and he promotes so strongly. And I think that is part of the reason why Katie Holmes seemed so reserved. You know what I'm saying? Like if y'all looked at Katie Holmes is like real dim, you know what I mean? And I feel like a lot of that had to do with her relationship with him and how controlling that relationship and that religion is over people's lifestyles. And she had to go through all of that, and she left him because she didn't want her kid to be a Scientologist, I believe. So it's just like a lot of layers to that story and what happened there, and why Jamie Foxx might have felt like, girl, once you come with me, I'll save you from this shit, okay? And why he probably didn't give a fuck about whether he was friends with Jamie Foxx or not. I mean with Tom Cruise or not. Tom Cruise probably considered him a suppressive person, okay? Y'all go find out what that is, what a suppressive person is. Okay, I'm telling y'all, I be on this Scientology jizz, okay? It's very interesting. I'm just saying, I think that it's a con. It's a con, man. It is a con. The amount of money those people spend is ridiculous. $10,000 for one course, and you have to take like tons of courses. You know what I'm saying? Like they max out all their credit cards. You know, they don't raise their own kids. Their kids are considered just like adults, so they don't give kids the same they don't give them the emotional support that they need. They're kind of just branched off somewhere else. They don't care about the concept of family in Scientology. It's all about this person and their million year contract with this religion to uphold it and cleanse the earth and all of this stuff. Like, if you get into it, it's very, like I said, interesting as hell. But when I think about that, I feel like Jamie probably was a savior for Katie Holmes. And then I found out Lovely T, okay, told me that the reason why they kept it under wraps for so long was because it was a part of the divorce, was that she had to stay quiet about whatever relationship she was going to be in for 5 years. What? Girl, how much money you had to, how much money did you get for that one? Because I felt like, you already high profile. You know what I'm saying? It's time for my motherfucking advice. It's time for my motherfucking couldn't give it to y'all. Oh Lord, let's get into this letter. Okay, so I need advice about my marriage. I've been married since 2005. A few years ago, my husband stepped out and that produced a child. We have 4 kids, one which was born after his outside baby. I love my husband and I forgave him. Surprisingly, our relationship hasn't changed in many aspects except my feelings for him. I love him, but not in love. We still get along great and have fun like always, but I just can't with him intimately. I know people may ask why not leave. Well, my husband is in the military and I am a CAHM and don't have the funds to leave. Stay-at-home mom. We couldn't just say stay-at-home mom? Sorry. And I don't have the funds to leave with my kids. I'm trying to finish school so I can provide for my kids. I don't want to take them out of their comfort and into struggle. I know my husband will pay his support and stuff, but it won't be much. They're not balling in the military, and his child support for the other child is high already. Yes, he has a relationship with his other child, but we are overseas, so they speak on the phone. My kids know of the child also. I wouldn't keep them away from their sibling. Now, her mother is a whole different story. I just need advice from you and your viewers. Do you think a marriage is salvageable after this type of betrayal? In the meantime, I can't leave financially. Do you have tips to help the situation? Maybe you know someone. I know people say women like me are dumb, and I used to think that, but honestly, you don't know what you would do until you're in a situation. Tip for any spouse who don't work, or any spouse, don't become so financially dependent on someone where you feel stuck. Okay. Okay. Here's my advice. Do I think you're stupid? No. Okay, anybody that says just because a woman doesn't leave somebody for cheating on them, they stupid, you fucking young. Or you stupid. Okay, relationships are way more complex than that, and so are marriages and families. You don't just give shit up because people make mistakes, especially not over decades of marriage. Now, if somebody is consistently disrespecting you, harming you, or putting your life in danger, it is time to go. Okay, but if y'all have a good relationship, y'all are friends, he supports you, I don't think you should leave. Honestly, you say you're not in love with him. What does that mean? I'm not in love with him. You have kids together. If anything, you got that base level love. You may not be feeling him right now because of what he did, but I think maybe you should go to counseling and take steps to try to get past what happened before you make a decision about whether you want to end your marriage, especially if you still enjoy being with him. Like, that's, no, ain't nobody doing that, girl. Nobody is gonna tell you you stupid. And I do understand not being financially able. What I will say is put money aside. Stay stacking your money. If that means being a little bit more frugal, then so be it. But stack your money so that if you do decide it's time for you to go, you can do that. And I agree with your advice. My mom has always told me, don't you ever be in a situation that you can't get out of as it pertains to relationships. And I feel like I have built my life in a way that would never happen to me. Okay, like I would always find a way to support myself. And I feel like I would never not work just because I enjoy what I do. So I would never not work. You know, YouTube is working. YouTube makes me, you know, some money. Not as much as I would need to be making to just be doing this. But it makes me money. And outside of that, shooting and editing, I love doing that. I always have. I enjoy entertaining people. That's always been a part of my makeup. So I would never go through my life without doing that, and that in some ways brings me, you know, money. So I'm gonna do what I gotta do no matter what, out of enjoyment. So I feel like all people should find something that they have like that, so that they never feel like they're stuck in a situation needing money, needing support from somebody else, and they can't leave if they have to. I don't feel like you're in a situation where your safety, you know, is compromised or anything like that. I think that honestly, you just don't know how to go forward after the betrayal. And I understand that. But sometimes you need to pray on things. People are so quick to give up on marriages these days. Okay? And you've been married for a long time. Over 10 years, 12 years now. That's a long time to be married to somebody. And you need to think about whether you really want to throw that away just because you ain't feeling him right now. I'm sure over the past 12 years, you've had times when you really wasn't feeling him all that much. I just think therapy, prayer will maybe work, and maybe you can get past it. If not, then at least be with him long enough to save you money. Okay? right, you guys, that was my advice. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. I love you guys. Thank you for watching, and please don't forget to come back.
I look fly, I look good. Touch my